this first top, should we? I don't know how long you're going to be here, Voltaire, but I was not. Me and Voltaire are not doing things just for clicks. Honestly, when we bring up stuff like we did Friday night or honest opinions, my audience, our audience, right? We know that we're going to get beat up in the chat just by our opinions, right, Voltaire? We know it's not a popular opinion. We don't make any. I don't grift off of that opinion. That opinion of anything negative, and this is a good thing about our community, is really extremely positive towards content. You know,
right?
So if anything, it's antithetical to what we're making money and making progress on my channel.
I just don't get the reaction that this was Disney. Whatever, we read the Variety article, but I think it was originally Entertainment Weekly interview. Either way, this was Disney's marketing, right?
And here's the other thing. I am giving legit criticisms as to why. I'm not just saying it's woke or whatever. I'm saying it sounds like a virtue signal, and I am really attached to the character. The Fantastic Four are some of my favorite superheroes ever. And it's not because of Mr. Fantastic or Invisible Woman. Not that I don't enjoy those characters. It's the Thing and the Human Torch and their relationship. And what's really exciting about the Fantastic Four is their origins are almost like a horror story. Like, look at the Thing. That's not a great superhero power.
No.
It comes by in a pinch, but even how they got their powers, like Mr. Fantastic sort of has a huge ego. It stretches. His ego is so big, it stretches, and he thinks he needs to be everywhere, and he's the most important person. I don't like Reed Richards. And this explains how they got their certain powers. It's part of their personalities is their powers, you know? So Mr. Fantastic has a huge ego. He's type A. He thinks he's the most important person in the world. So much so that he has a beautiful wife there that is amazingly beautiful, and she feels invisible sometimes to Mr. Reeds. You know, that's how she kind of got her powers, you know? That's part of their dynamic. She sometimes feels invisible. Should she be invisible on how beautiful she is? No. But to Reeds,
if she was ugly, it'd be okay though, right?
No. It's never okay to have your wife feel invisible to you in your marriage. No. But that's where that came from too. That's where her powers came from. And the Human Torch is a literal hothead. Okay. So when you say he starts to care about people's feelings, do I want me to care about your feelings? Do I want Voltaire and in the community care about each other's feelings? Yes, but not all characters have to be like that. You know, he's a literal hothead. He runs hot. That's why he turns into fire. That's why, because his personality created his powers with the event in space. All of their powers are tied to their personalities, you know? So this is a change. Do I mean it's going to be garbage? No. But when I hear a literal hothead who, yes, he likes to flirt, you know? I'm not suggesting like these straw man things where he's like going to do something diabolical to ladies or men or whatever, but he plays the game, he gets out there, you know? And then also he antagonizes the rest of the crew. And that's what makes the Fantastic Four so dynamic. You wouldn't say to Deadpool, what if this is the Human Torch to me is not on the level of like Deadpool being inappropriate and not PC. Okay. I understand there's a difference there. There's nuance. But imagine if you had Deadpool coming back to the MCU, and the first thing you hear is, I want Deadpool to feel about how he is current today and how he is cognizant of people's feelings. That would be right.
Yeah. It's
not really, because
no,
not really. In the comics, Deadpool always changes personality. So I know who's the person.
Would you want to hear the next Wolverine after Hugh Jackman to say, I really want to know how Logan is adapting to 2025 current day politics and how he's going to be respectful to the rest of the X-Men, especially Cyclops?
I mean,
F that.
to be fair, Wolverine is an asshole, so like,
Right. And so that's not, Human Torch isn't as much as an a-hole as Deadpool and Wolverine, but sometimes he is to the Thing, and the Thing is a tortured soul. He's an old reliable, and he's there, and he's the Rock. He's the literal Rock of the Fantastic Four, right? And he's overlooked, and he's pushed to the side, and he suffers the most of the Fantastic Four. And you know what? Human Torch doesn't care. He cares because it's his brother. He cares because it's his brother. He comes by and helps him. And that's what makes the Thing even more dynamic, is when he goes clobbering time, especially when Johnny Storm triggers him to go full clobbering time. That's what makes those fights even more epic, you know? So I know about the Fantastic Four, and I'm not saying I'm not going to see it. I'm not saying I'm not going to support it. But the PR is not living up to what I want, you know? And there is a difference. I'm going to try to stay open-minded. I do have a bias. I'm going to try to be objective.
To be fair,
but I really like these characters.
To be fair, in the movie, the clip that they show CinemaCon, he does joke around with the Sue and Johnny and the Thing. So like, whatever like he's saying, just like, you know, and also it depends on which version of Johnny. The one that Jack Kirby created, he wasn't always like that. So because that's from the '60s, and the movie takes place in the '60s.